Hello, in today's video I'm going to explain you how array in C# works. So first, to understand array, you need to imagine it as a container for your value types. So first, I've drawn some helpful image for you to understand what is it. So to declare table, we just provide the type, as you remember from the first episode, the type of our value. But we need to add those brackets. That means that it will be that way we'll define array. So create container like that, and then after sign of equal, we put new int and we provide the size of our table. Okay, so type name of the value. We add brackets here. Then we put equal new type of our value and the size of our table. It's one way of the declaration of the table, and we are going to exercise how to work with the table. But before we do that, for you to understand, if we create a table of size 3, so we'll have 3 spaces on our container for our values. So it means that we can access those values by this, let's call it addresses of the corresponding container. So if we declare new array of size of 3, we begin from 0, 1, then we go to 1 and 2. So this is our array of size 3. And to access that value, as I said, we just need to provide in our brackets 0, 1 or 2 to check what value we have inside. Okay, so when we clarify that, let's go to our coding. As usually, I have created empty scene just with our empty game object, and I've attached to it just our script we are going to work with. Okay, so first, to declare array, as you saw before, we need to provide, let's make our value public. Let's make it of the type string this time, string. Let's put brackets, this means we create container, and let's create container for the weapon names. Yes. So now, if we'll go to Unity, you will see that we have here weapon names of the size 0. So because we didn't declare any size of our table, by default the size is 0. So I can change the size, for example 2, and I will have 2 elements to provide. But I can also declare it inside the code. So to do that, I will write weapon names is equal to new string. Let's make it size 3, like it was on the picture. So now, if I Control S, and as you remember, the start will be executed when we press play. So now, let's press play, and what will happen with our weapon names? We'll have the weapon names with the size 3. Okay, the container for the weapon names. Okay, so another way to declare our container is to provide name directly. So let's provide our weapon names here. I have already weapon names written before, so I will just copy paste them. So you just write the name, the string, put the comma, the brackets, and close it. Okay. So now, when we will go to Unity, what we will see, if we click the weapon names, we will see we have a container for weapon names of the size 4, with our weapon names both sword, dagger, and axe. Okay, so that's how you mostly define the table. Another way to define the table, we can directly access those places here. Okay, so position 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's create that for you to understand what I mean. So let's write some function, maybe public test table pos. Okay, public void. So let's write on the weapon name, weapon names, on the position 0, we'll write name, let's write bow. Okay, let's make it like that, and the same let's make for the sword, and let's make the same for the position dagger. Okay, so this will be position 1, this will be position 2. Let's press Ctrl save, and let's call our function in start. Okay, but we forget to create one thing, because we didn't declare size of our container. Weapon names is equal to new string of, let's make it 3, because we have 3 weapons. Now let's press Ctrl save. Yeah, let's stop this one. Let's clear all the errors. If I press play now, yeah, now I have weapon names of the size 3 and all elements are declared. If you would like to change the name, some name here inside the table, so if we go to our previous declaration here, in our array, sorry, if you go to our previous declaration, like that, and I will remove this one, public void change table position. So now what I will create here, if I will for example take the weapon names, here on the position 1 we actually have sword. Let's make it maybe, do we have axe somewhere here? Yeah, we have axe, so maybe let's write hammer. Okay, and change table position. Okay, so what we should see now, if we go to our Unity, okay, didn't refreshed, sometimes it happens, so now let's remove, let's add our tutorial 6. Yeah, so it's refreshed, and now we will have weapon names declared by size 4. The container for the weapon names is size 4. We have bow, sword, dagger, and axe. Okay, so on element 1 we have sword, and now, as you can see here, I will call the function change on table pos, and we will change the name, we will change the position 1 on the table, which actually is here, the sword. Okay, so we'll change it to hammer. So if I will press play now, yeah, you can see here the sword was changed to hammer. Okay, that's great if you notice that. And this is what I was showing you before, that if we will access the position from that bracket, we will access that value. Okay, if you understand that, that is perfect. Okay, one more thing about declarations. If you would like to create something like two-dimensional table, you would need a little bit different declaration. So if you would like, I will show. If you would like to create something like map, so you can use to create two-dimensional table, and declaration is the same as previously. So you declare value, and here you will have the size of the table. And to access this position, you will write something like, if you would like to access this position, you would, for example, call weapon on position 1.1, and then you will get the name of that table. I will show you just quickly how to declare it, but we will not work on, I will show you quickly how to declare that size of the table. Okay, so to do that, from script, you will just need to create like int, you write something like that. So this means you will have two-dimensional table, and let's call it numbers. Yeah, and to create a table like that, you would have to just create numbers is equal to new int 3, 3. Okay, so that's how you declare two-dimensional table. Okay, I hope it's clear for you. But for now, let's focus how to search through our table. So as you remember from previous episode, I have shown you a function called for each, which is very useful to go through the records inside our arrays. So let's write public void show weapon names, and please be aware, if I'm saying table, array or container, I always mean the same. This is our array. Okay, I hope it's clear for you. Okay, so if we would like go through our names inside of our records inside our array here, so this means by bow, sword, dagger and axe, we can use the function as I mentioned for each, and declaration for each is from the last episode. Let's write string where name in weapon names. And now let's just show in the console the names we have in our container, okay, for our weapon names. Weapon name, yeah. So what we're doing here, we're just defining new value, the string value, and all the weapon names are everyone on our loop. Every single weapon name is written from our container weapon names is written to our value weapon names, and it's showed by the double clock. So on each step. So because our array, this one, have 4 steps, we should get 4 names written in our console. So let's go to Unity. Let's go to our console. Let's press play. And nothing happened because we didn't call our function on stack method. Yeah, here. Okay, Control S. Let's go back to Unity. Let's press play. And here, bow, sword, dagger, axe was called. So our for each function was working. Okay. So now we'll do something which now you should understand how our array works. So what we'll do now, I will show you how to create container for our weapon. For that purpose, I have already created weapon class. It has only weapon name and value if it's melee weapon or range weapon. Okay? I hope it's clear for you. So now let's go to Unity to create our container for our weapons. Yeah, this one we will not need. But let's create container for our transform. Let's create public transform container. So this is something new for you here. Okay, let's leave it because we will have error on this function. But here we will create new weapon container, and to fill it we are going to use new game objects. So now let's create empty game object. Let's add our weapon script I showed you before, and let's duplicate it 4 times. We'll create 4 new objects, and we'll write here the name of the game objects. This will be our weapons. So let's write here axe, sword, bow, dagger. Okay, These are our 4 weapons. And now we can provide here weapons names. So let's do it again. Axe. This is mid weapon, it's true. This is the sword. It's true. This is the bow. It's not melee weapon, so I will make it false, keep it false. Dagger is melee weapon, so yeah. We have 3 melee weapon and 1 range weapon here, okay? So if we go to our tutorial script and let's make our weapon names more visible. And when we have our weapon container, just by taking this value and moving it here, we should be able to increase size of our weapon container. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know. One issue with the declaration here. We didn't make it an array. Okay. Now let's make it Ctrl S again. Sorry. Quickly fix the issue. So now this is our weapon container. Let's lock it here, and now let's move all the needed weapons here. So this is our container for our weapons. So we have created container where we actually store our real game objects, Unity weapons. Okay, Unity game objects. So here you can see on okay, let's take this lookout. So inside we have a game object which has 2 positions, weapon name and value if it is melee. Okay, why we need this? Because now we can do the exercise when we will actually search through our weapon names, and we'll check which one of them. We will search through our weapons, not weapons name, we'll through our weapons, and we will check which one of them is melee, and we'll show only names for the melee weapons. Okay, so now let's write public void show only melee weapons, and let's use our function for each. And now let's write for each transform, for each transform weapon. So for each weapon inside our weapon container, we want to check if weapon to access this value here. So we check on our weapon, and we want to check if our melee is true. Yeah, so if the variable is true. So to do that, we need to go to weapon, we need to get component on our transform. The component is our weapon script. So what we're doing here is the object we have found, we are accessing its component and the component is the weapon script. Yeah, so this one, and we're checking the name we have declared there. Okay, sorry, not the name, but the type, if the boolean value, if it's melee. Okay, so melee. And this means that if this sentence is true, so if we go to our weapon, get this script component, and we'll check if it's boolean is true, so it means it's melee weapon, then we want to show that weapon name. Okay, so debug.log, and here we'll do something similar. So we'll go again to weapon, get component weapon, but this time we'll write name. Okay, and this will show us only the weapons that are melee, so it will skip our bow. So to test that, let's go here, and this one, let's hide this one. So if I will press play now and go to our console, yeah, let's clear this one. Yes, and I will press play now, so we should get to see all these ones, but this will not show the bow name. So let's press play, and voila, we have axe, sword and dagger. But in table is also bow, which we skipped because the value for the melee on the bow is false. Okay, so that was all I was going to show you how to work with arrays. So thank you for watching, and if you liked today's video, please don't forget to press the like button and to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.